Right, the quadratic formula. You need to know how to derive this, so how to create this. And essentially, I'm just going to go through it and you just got to repeat it. There are slightly different ways, but I've done this in a way that I've done my previous lessons. So where the hell does this all come from? This you're working out. Looks a bit mad, but let's do it slowly. And if you want to try it, try doing the instructions on the screen before I get to there. And we're starting off, yeah. So like every quadratic equation in the world is ax squared plus bx plus c. And a is the x squared coefficient, b is the x coefficient, and c is just the one on its own. Has to be equal to 0. It's important. Right. First one, divided by a. So I divide each section by a. There you go. Okay, now I need to complete the square. That's where it gets a little bit complicated. So like normally I'll just look at the first bit here. Okay, and then I know it's going to be x, and I'm going to have to halve bx over a. Okay, now if you're halving that, it's the same as doing like b over a times a half, so bx over a times a half, which is going to equal bx over 2a. Okay, and that all goes into brackets and it's squared. Then I'll normally subtract this number here squared, okay, and plus c over a, which is the same as this c over a here. Okay, then I bring the b over the 2a squared to the other side, okay, just by adding them both, because it's always going to be a subtract. Now b over 2a squared I can simplify just to make it b squared over 2a squared. And just remember it's all of this squared, so it's 2a squared. Yep, okay. Let's expand that denominator to make it 4a squared. And just remember it's just 4 times a squared. Okay. Now my right hand side here, I want to sort of like put them together. So I want to subtract the fractions. Okay. I can only subtract the fractions when the denominators are the same. So that's c over a. I'm going to actually times that by 4a. Okay. And then in both my fractions, I've got 4a squared as a denominator. Okay. Which means all I have to do is to do b squared minus 4ac. It looks a little bit like what I've got to do. Okay. Now I've got this squared here. It's doing my heading. So to get rid of that, I'm going to have to square root both sides. So I'll just put a massive square root sign on that. Okay. Right. Then I've got to bring this bit here, this b over 2a, to the other side. Okay. So I've got minus b over 2a. Just remember plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a squared. Then I can simplify this bit here. Okay. Now my numerator, I can't do anything is, but I actually can work out the square root of 4a squared. And all I do is I square root of 4 and I square root of the a squared to make it 2a, because square root of 4 is 2 and a squared is a. Okay. Now if you look, my denominators are the same. Yes, I can actually simplify my numerator. Okay, which I've got minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and there it is. Okay, there's no way I can make it simpler. You just have to do it and just practice it and just know what it is. Yeah, it might come up, it might not, but it's just handy to know.